Now if you look around, there ain't much light without me. I'm the sun, you're the moon, you cannot shine without me. Too many man wanna link up just to go against my pen. North London, stand up, I still rep my yard. Sick MCs come from Tottenham.
Alright, so this was the surprise EP that was done by Chip. I had a lot of thoughts on the whole Chip versus Bugsy Malone beef that's kind of been going on. I never got around to doing a review for the Believe and Achieve EP, so I kind of wanted to do one for this since I had a lot of thoughts. So I'm going to jump right into the tracks. A lot of the tracks are older now, well at least the first two are. So I'm just going to kind of share my thoughts on the tracks as I first came across them. So with the first track you had Pepper Rhythm, and with that track, you know, when I first heard it, it was coming right off the Fire in the Booth, and that generated like a lot of buzz in the UK scene. I thought you had a lot of artists that had like a lot of different opinions about, you know, what Chip has said and what was being done within the scene. And you know, in this one track, he kind of responded to a lot of different MCs that I guess had to say something regarding what he said in his Fire in the Booth. So he ended up name dropping like a lot of different, you know, artists within this track, and it kind of sent shockwaves throughout the whole scene.
I got so many MCs trying to diss me, I don't know what to do. Fuck that, grab the pen, clap it like Len. Bugsy, I'm starting with you, like go on then.
So you've seen like a lot of different artists do replies to what he said in this song, but you know, it mainly created like a lot of buzz around the scene. This song was produced by Rapid. I kind of thought that, you know, when I first seen the video for this song, you kind of seen Jammer, and also you seen Big Shiz in the background. You know, they kind of got thrown into the mix even though they didn't have anything to do with it. But you know, also with this, you know, it started like different beefs within the scene based off some things that he had said within the track. So it kind of got the whole scene buzzing, I thought, for the most part. But this was the first part of the song in track one. The second song that was done was The End. The End was hands down my favorite track that Chip has done this year, and it's probably been the track that I've played the most. As far as the production, it was my favorite one that he's done, and that was done by the Heavy Trackers, who was supposed to have a clash this year with another famous producer within the UK. But you know, for a long time I didn't even know that The End was produced by the Trackers, even though they was playing it throughout the whole song. But I'm not familiar with a lot of their production that they've done, but hopefully I'll get a chance to check out more stuff by them. As far as The End and what I thought, bars wise, I didn't really think that he was sending for any type of particular MC within the song, as I kind of felt like he was addressing a lot of different artists within the scene. Since he called out so many different names, he didn't want to sit up there and call out, you know, even more names within this track. So I just kind of felt like, you know, he was saying what he had to say, and he just kind of wanted to end it there.
That's crazy. 3, 4, 5, 6 man can't take me. Nobody's for me. Everyone's snake. You right now. I don't give a fuck if you rate me. I'm out. Believe and achieve, yeah.
I kind of feel like, you know, the people who originally probably had his back, you know, before he did the beef, kind of left him hanging high and dry, for what I thought at least, from what he is saying in his bars. But I kind of felt like with this track it was my favorite from the EP. You then later see Light Work, which was track number 2. This track, it was done like several months after Pepper Rhythm and The End. And, you know, mainly from his first bars within this track, you know, he's kind of addressing Bugsy, saying that, you know, you made a whole diss track for me, now I'm making a whole diss track for you. And I've played this track out like a lot, and I've kind of thought about some things that he said within the song. And I think it's safe to say that most people thought that in the very beginning, Bugsy Malone was winning as far as the beef. And even myself, I thought in the beginning that he kind of had the upper hand a little bit since we hadn't heard a response from Chip. But I kind of felt like with his response, the more and more I thought about it, like within the past, I don't know, a few weeks or a month or so, I've been going back and playing like a lot of tracks from Chip and like really listening to what he's been saying like within the tracks. And I kind of felt like he just never addressed Bugsy Malone within any of his tracks directly. As you know, you look back at Pepper Rhythm and he had addressed several different MCs, so it's not like he was singling out Bugsy Malone and just, you know, sending for him directly. As you know, he was throwing out several names, so there wasn't one track where he just fully addressed Bugsy Malone. But I kind of felt like in Lightwork, he said, okay, you know, you did your track for me, now I'm about to do my track for you. So this track, I guess it was fully aimed at Bugsy Malone, I guess. But bars wise, I thought it was his best track that was going at Bugsy. He then goes into track number 3 with Run Out Rhythm. This was the second track that he dropped within the same week that he dropped Lightwork. I thought this track had a lot of good bars. I thought the production was better than Lightwork, but overall I felt like Lightwork had the better bars going at Bugsy.
Got him again. How can a chipmunk fight with a lion? How did David kill Goliath? Savior, that's not you. Stop lying. For me this is effortless and you're trying. Look, you ain't the devil. Blood, you're a human being, so you can die like me.
The track number 4 was Hat Trick. This was the third track that he had released in 1 week. As far as production, I thought it was the best of the 3. But still, bars wise, I felt like Lightwork was his best song as far as the bars. And then also like the Hat Trick video the best out of all of them as well. So with all these tracks that he's done, and I know there's been a lot of talk who's been winning between Bugsy and Chip, I kind of feel like, you know, to start out, Bugsy was winning because he had did his replies. He had did like 2, I think it was 2 different songs that he did. And then after that, he had dropped his tape, which most of the time you see one person, you know, call out somebody, another person responds, they do their second send, and then you see another send from that person, and then from that point, you know, they can drop their tape. I kind of felt like Chip did it differently this time, and he dropped three different tracks within 1 week, which at first I kind of looked at it as he was dropping too much material at one time. But I mean, it's kind of like I know what his thought process was in doing it, but I just kind of felt like it was too much material to put out at one time. Because, well, I guess mainly the problem I have with this is, you know, I was looking at it like, you know, Chip's going to drop 3 tracks, and then Bugsy may come back with 1 track and try to kill his 3 with the 1 track that he has. And mainly he did everything I said he was going to do within 1 track. As, you know, in the song that he did, I can't remember what the name of it was. I think it was Wasteman where he actually said it. But he was talking about how the 3 tracks was kind of like a desperate attempt, and how he's going to try to kill his track with his 1. But, you know, I thought Wasteman was a good response to some of the tracks that Chip had been dropping. But I didn't really care for Zombie Rhythm, which was, I think, the second track that he had dropped. But my thing is, if they're going to go at each other and kind of clash, you know, it just needs to be fair. And, you know, if Chip does 3 tracks, you know, I feel like Bugsy needs to do 3 tracks as well. It's not, you know, Chip drop 3 and then Bugsy try to kill his 3 with 1 track. You know, just kind of keep it fair. But since this time, Chip has dropped like 3 different, well, he's kind of dropped about 4 different tracks since this time, and I think that all the tracks that he's dropped after these 3 have been hands down the best tracks that he's done. As far as the newest tracks, Coward is hands down my favorite. 96 Bars of Revenge, that's my second favorite. And then Duppy Rhythm, I just kind of felt like with that track, I've never seen him go in so hard on a track. So right now, Chip, he's creating like a lot of buzz. I think it would be smart for him to go ahead and just drop a full-length LP. And hopefully when he does that, you know, he releases a physical CD of the LP, as I would really like to see physical CDs for these EPs as well. But just a few days ago, he announced that he was going to release his second part to Believe and Achieve, so I'll definitely be looking forward to hearing like a lot of those tracks, and I think 96 Bars of Revenge should be on that track. But yeah, so far as who's winning the beef between the two, definitely think Chip is winning. Although I like both of the artists, and I like the tracks that they both have been dropping, and hands down I'm rating Chip more than any other artist out the UK right now, as I feel like, you know, he's responsible for creating so much buzz within the UK scene this year in 2015. So, you know, I'm not saying that he's the greatest and best artist of all time, but as far as this year, you know, he's responsible for generating that much buzz to the UK scene. So you definitely got to rate him for that. For those of you who have listened to the CP, feel free to share your thoughts. Also, feel free to share your thoughts on who's winning the beef between Chip and Bugsy. But until next time, this has been Jacob Rob AJ, and I'll see ya.
Come up easy, that's all sleazy. You can get free in a week. Bun your EP, sat back, read it, line them up neatly. Somebody should have told you, Chippy, I'm not easy.